friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Izzy, and today we are going to be speed building a witch's cottage. I started out here. I already did the landscaping before you got here, girl. I was trying to get ahead of myself. Okay, it took me a really long time, so I thought I'd just do it before this video. I obviously did a little like murky pond in the back there, and I raised the ground level and sized up rocks to make sort of a hill that they can climb up. And I used the little toadstool mushroom toadstool stools as actual like giant mushrooms outside, because it would not be a witch's cottage if there were not giant mushrooms outside. That's what I'm saying, okay? And then I'm going in here with a octagonal, is that how you say that? Octagon room. Some straight square rooms and then diagonal square rooms, because again, it just wouldn't be a witch's cottage if we didn't have like different sizes and orientations of rooms, right? My goal here was to kind of make it look weird, just a little bit off, if you will. So that's why I'm going in with that. And then we have two different levels. On our first level, we're gonna have bathroom, kitchen, living room, and a little kind of like hidey nook thing. And then on the top level, that's gonna be our witch's bedroom and a little greenhouse, which originally wasn't gonna be a greenhouse, but I struggled. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself here. So we're just doing roofs here. I did end up adding to the back of the house here because this roof just wasn't working properly. That happens eventually. There's a couple adjustments that I have to make to the actual structure of this building while I'm like decorating and building, because it is just kind of a weird one, okay? And we're adjusting the roofs here to make them look a little more witchy. The only two packs I really have that I keep grabbing trees from the background. I don't know why that keeps happening. Also, during this video, I take like 15 random screenshots because I go to press the Alt key on my keyboard and I accidentally press C all the time. Does anyone else do that? Because I do it all the time. I have to go delete so many random screenshots from my like screenshot folder. Anyways, we are going in with the kind of rustic looking wood, worn looking wood from the Island Living pack, because I thought that kind of fit the vibe. I wanted some wood paneling and then I wanted some brick. So our octagon tower there is brick from the Cottage Living pack, and then the wood is from the Island Living pack. Am I getting that right, or am I mixing them together? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna go in and just add a couple details on the outside here before we start on windows and doors. There's a lot of outside decoration for this one. Probably takes up like half this video, because I just imagine like a witch having a lot of stuff going on the outside of the building, like a lot of plants. I'm also kind of imagining this witch, like not like the witch from the Wizard of Oz, like not that kind of witch. Like I'm imagining like a little fairy witch, like a little cottage core, you know, not a spooky witch, a nice witch. Not a witch that eats children, a witch that grows giant mushrooms outside of her house. You know what I mean? I originally was going in with the vibe of like, I'm gonna make it like gothic, whatever. That never happened. I think I talked about this in another video, that like I go in with a vibe or an idea in my head of what I want to build, and I kind of always end up building it to appeal to me. Like I'll always, and you'll see it when I decorate the bedroom in this one, like it's kind of witchy, but it's also kind of just like things that I liked. So my bad. But in the end, I guess this could be like a witchy cottage. It could be like a fairy cottage. It could be, you know, just that kind of vibe. I was gonna add one of these little balconies, but it just didn't kind of end up working in my vision. So we do get rid of that and we move on to the windows. With the windows, because I wanted to keep the outside of this house kind of interesting, I tried to use a bunch of different windows and not really use the same ones over again. So there is, at the moment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different windows on our building here. And then I'm going to kind of continue them around the back. I think maybe I use another Oh, 8. We're on 8 for different windows. I think maybe I use one more, so let's go with 9 different windows on this build. Good for me. I'm so creative. Everybody's so creative. And then we got to fix our foundation here. I'm going in, we're keeping the color palette kind of like green and brown, I think is the vibe for this. We are really kind of going fairy more than witch now that I'm really looking at her. And yeah, we're gonna go in with a frieze. I really wish that they would like show what the actual frieze looks like in the preview, because that doesn't look anything like what I'm looking at in the little preview down there. But I'm using a frieze from Island Living. I'm actually gonna make it a darker color, that one on the top there. I think it really kind of fits. And if you want, pro tip here, fun fact, if you want to use a frieze like this, but you don't want it to attach to the entire way around the building, you can hold shift while you're placing it, and it will only place it on the wall that your cursor is currently touching. If you didn't know, maybe you did, but now you do if you didn't. And we're gonna go in and add a bunch of plants. With these ones from Jungle Adventure, if you size them down, they'll fit kind of perfectly right underneath your roof, which I love. And they look like they're like growing out of the roof. And I'm adding these little like bell flowers on top of this to make it sort of look like a growing vine. I thought that's what it kind of looked like. I don't know. And I went to decorate the front here by the front door. And I did add some flowers in. You will see that at the end of this video, it is different. Those flowers don't exist anymore. And that is because I play tested this house, you know, because there's always something wrong after you build a house and you go and play test it and they're like, I can't get past that plant, you know, because Sims are useless. So I went and play tested this house and my Sim wouldn't even enter the front door. And she kept saying that the plants were in the way. So I had to change them. I don't know. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. So what you're about to see at the beginning here, eventually, it doesn't end up actually being what is in the final product, but you gotta do what you gotta do, okay? I'm trying to make these houses playable. So if you wanna download them from my gallery, shameless plug here for a second, you can. My gallery is IzzzyMT, that's IZZYMT, or for my Americans, IZZYMT. M as in your mom. T as in, I don't know, pterodactyl. Oh my God, that starts with a P. No! Okay, no, I actually didn't. That was, okay, T as in, you get the point. It's IzzzyMT. So you can download this from my gallery if you would like to. I'm adding some moss to the top of the roof here, which you can do. You can really kind of use any plant, I think, like any flat plant, any outdoor flat plant, but there is some, when you actually click on like roof features or wall features, I can't remember, one of the two, I think it's roof features. They're a pain in the butt to place. If this video was like real time, like I think that took me like 20 minutes. Like it's actually stupid how long it takes to place those things because they do not want to cooperate. And if you click them and try to adjust them again, they'll float, like they won't actually be touching the roof. This is the part I was talking about with the decorations on the front that are going to be different. So anything I place here, honestly, just scratch that from your brain. It's unimportant. But I'm putting like a little patio with some mishmashed brick, and then I'm going to go with stone stairs here. There's me accidentally grabbing a tree again. I just can't be stopped. I think the reason that these weren't working was because I sized down both of them and still placed them, but when you size something down in The Sims, it still considers that object to be the size that it actually is. The game itself and your Sims will consider that object to be its original size. So even if you size it down and it doesn't look like it's in front of the door, it still will be in front of the door. Unfortunately, I just wasn't thinking about that at the time. I was kind of hoping it would work anyways. I don't know why they can't walk around it, but they can't. Okay. We've added a lot of plants here, and oh, I'm gonna add some more of I love this one, these hanging vines from Jungle Adventure. I just think they're so cute. Okay. Oh, we're still adding flowers. Oh my God. I think that gets us to a point. Oh, I add a sunflower here. Again, it's not gonna fit because I added a pillar thingy and I sized it down. Boop, there, I did it. You saw it. That's the reason it's not working, because it's still considering that pillar to be the actual size that it is, and it will not let your Sims walk past that. I don't know, I thought there was enough room still, but I guess I was wrong. So, I believe, oh, a little more landscaping here, and then that's going to take us to the inside, which I'm actually really excited about. I love the inside of this build, and I hope you guys do too. There's a lot of fun things that just kind of came about when I was building it. I especially love the bathroom, which is strange for me because the bathroom is like the bane of my existence. Like, I just like decorate the bathroom because I have to. And I struggle to make it feel like cute, or I don't know. I don't love a lot of the things that we have, like the bathroom items. I just don't think they're that very great. So on the left here, this room that I'm creating, that's going to be the living room kitchen. And then on the right side, in that weird octagon tower, is going to be our bathroom. I struggled to place the stairs here a little bit. I had to actually end up getting rid of a wall and reconfigure some things to make the stairs fit in a way that I wanted them to, because I wanted them to run on the back of the wall here. I had to take it out so I could actually raise that roof up. If you, yeah, sorry, this took me a while to just kind of figure out, like, I was really struggling with this one. There we go, she finally removed the wall. I'm gonna curve it around, and then I'm gonna add some walls around the stairs, and behind the stairs by that little window there, we're gonna create a little nook, which I decided is gonna be kind of like a little art nook. It's gonna hold an easel and some canvas, because your Sims can walk underneath stairs. So if you ever have like space like this, you can use it. I like to put a little wall there, and then you can put an arch door so it looks open, but it's a little like under the stairs nook. Like growing up, I had we had a storage room. I mean, we didn't call it a room, a storage crawl space. It's like in between a room and a crawl space underneath our stairs. And I feel like I grew up in a place that, like, it was sort of cold outside a lot, so like spiders would come inside all the time. Like, you wouldn't see spiders outside, you'd see spiders inside all the time. So I would never go into this like under the stairs space, because it was just like crawling with spiders. Like, that's where they definitely were laying their eggs and making new spiders. It was terrifying. But we used to like call it our little Harry Potter door, because it was the door under the stairs, you know? So that's what that reminds me of. Maybe I like doing it because it's nostalgic, maybe. Here I'm adding in some, sorry, I just hit my mic. I'm adding in some cabinets. I push them out far enough that they don't show. They're kind of in the walls, so it's okay. And I'm adding a copper sink. Then I really wanted to use that plaid curtain from Cats and Dogs, but then I found this one. Guys, I've never used this curtain before. I didn't even know it existed, but it has these little daisies on it. Are you joking me? So I sized that one up. This is like perfect for like a witchy fairy kind of, I didn't even know it existed. Like, I just discovered this yesterday. I feel like I don't go crazy with curtains, so I haven't actually used all of them. And then I'm adding a little extra wall here on the outside, because I realized that we don't have a lot of room in our kitchen, and I didn't know where to put the fridge. So I'm literally creating another room for our fridge, because why not? And it adds some dimension on the outside. And, you know, we were trying to make our house a little weird looking, so I thought, hey, let's make a fridge room. So this is where I'm putting a light in there so it's not dark and scary. And then I'm using the cottage living fridge. I actually still need to play test that and make sure they can get into the fridge. I forgot to do that, but I will do that before I post this. Promise, okay? If I remember, I'll write it down. And then we're adding a little half island here, and I'm staying kind of cohesive with the wallpaper. I'm just gonna use this brick for the entire house. I think it just kind of works. And then I was having a really hard time decorating, and I feel like maybe the packs I have, the items that I have, just weren't like giving that kind of witchy feel that I wanted. I tried my best. Put some teapots out, and I'm just doing I think this is from Eco Living, or is this from Tiny Home? I can't remember. This little countertop stove, because obviously where else am I gonna put a stove? This kitchen is so tiny. I am using the 9 key to raise up some items to put them on the fridge. I wanted to put an item in this little like window nook thing, but they don't really make that possible, which is kind of frustrating. There probably is a way to do it. I think I ended up like fitting some candles in there eventually. It doesn't look great, but it is what it is. And then I am also using a 9 key to put this spice rack on the wall. That can be a wall item, okay? Anything can be a wall item if you try hard enough, honestly. Anything can be anything in The Sims if you try hard enough. Sometimes I just don't feel like trying that hard. And we're going with that like copper gold vibe. I wanted to add some plants to the kitchen as well. We're keeping that like, I don't know, this is a plant witch, if you will. And I think I ended up going with, is this from Blooming Rooms? I think this is from Blooming Rooms. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I really love this one. I think it's the colors. It's like jewel tone, right? You have that like purple and the green jewel tone sort of thing. And then I wanted to do some like a picture on the wall. I don't know. Maybe she's artistic. Okay. I don't know. I don't know her. I don't know your sim. Maybe she isn't even a witch. Maybe she just lives in this cottage. Okay. Maybe she's a regular bitch. Whatever. And then in the living room, we're going with a cottage living. Basically, this entire freaking house is cottage living at this point. I don't know why I keep saying it. Fireplace. We're gonna add some objects onto the mantle there. I'm gonna go with same thing as my like saloon build. I'm gonna go with no TV. We're gonna go with books and stuff. Make it kind of like an older vibe. Hold on, I'm taking a sip of coffee. Delicioso. Did anyone see that Starbucks changed their reward system and it's ass now? And I'm so mad about it. That is such a tangent though that I'm not going to go on, and totally unrelated. So, but listen, if you're mad, let me know, because I'm kind of mad. Okay. It's real bad. It's real bad. We're sticking with the green and brown theme. So I was trying to find some green couches, love seats, but I don't have any room in here. So it really took me a long time to figure out like a configuration of how this room was going to work. And I ended up going with 3 armchairs, or whatever you would call these, and configured those in green and in brown, and then just used, again, I'm still trying to put a couch in. I was really trying to root for the couch in this room, but it just wasn't working. So Edie's what Edie's. She'll get there eventually. This, again, in real life, this probably took me like 20 minutes of just trying to figure out like what couch I was going to put in. Girl, the couch is not working. It's never going to work. Just put it away. There we go. This is sort of closer to the end formation. These 2 taller green armchairs, I think this is from Cats and Dogs. And then the leather armchair in the corner there with a tiny little coffee table, a plant. I'm gonna throw in some wall decorations, my favorite hanging plant ever of all time. I think I placed like 7 of these in this entire build, that hanging plant in the corner. A candelabra lamp, and this fun little leaf curtain, which I never really get to use, I feel like, so it's kind of fun that I get to use it. And I thought it fit perfectly in here because we've got a lot of green going on. And then I'm gonna add some books for some entertainment, so you know your sim isn't bored because she doesn't have a TV. I get it. Okay. And a book on the table. Woohoo! Oh, and then a book on the wall. Another book on the wall. And I tried to place a picture frame there. It didn't work. Didn't work, girl. It's okay. And then we're moving on to our little nook thing here. This is kind of hard to look at. And I I tried to place these items with the walls up because I'm a dumbass. For some reason, like I don't know why, I just didn't think to put the walls down. This would be much easier, my friends, if the walls were down. You can place the objects literally just right under the staircase. You don't have to be doing all this that I'm doing here. I like to just make things harder for myself though, you know. Why not? This video would be like 2 minutes long if I didn't make things hard for myself. So I added in a little like, what's that called? Needle point or whatever. Cross stitch, that's what it's called. Cross stitch box. I added an easel and I added some canvas. Maybe our girlie's an artiste. And then we're gonna move on to my favorite room of this build, okay? The bathroom, which is a sentence I don't think I thought I would ever say. But the vibe of this bathroom becomes kind of like dungeon. And I think it's this brick. It's the same brick that I used on the outside of the build there on the tower that I'm using on the bathroom. And I don't know if it's because of the weird shape of this bathroom. Maybe I need to make my bathrooms more weird shapes instead of just squares, because it really kind of like did something to me, okay? I don't know. It's really fun. I get to use this fun patterned bathtub in the corner here. And then I'm gonna add some planties, but those ones don't work. So I end up using my favorite plant of all, you know the one, this hanging plant. Yay, and I placed like 5 of them because imagine, this is what I'm imagining. You're laying in the bathtub, taking a nice warm bath, and you look up and there's like vines hanging down above you. Oh, what a vibe. I just love it. Like I wish I could live in this bathroom. It's so nice. Then we're gonna add some supplies, some things in the back there. Some candles, you know, set the mood, people. And then, oh, I decided I need to put the scrolls in the kitchen. I don't know if that was important. It was important. Okay, and then I found this gnome. I forgot he existed. I put some soap or whatever this is, perfume on. So he's holding your, like, look at him. He's holding your little soaps beside your bathtub. Like, I need this in real life. Like, this is my dream. This is my dream. Okay, we're adding a little toilet in the corner. And then this little sticky outy area was perfect for the sink and the mirror. So I feel like the layout of this room just weirdly really worked for a bathroom. I don't know. We're adding in some more plants here. And then, oh, we're having a pause. Are we okay? She just had a moment. It's okay. And we need some rugs. I end up using this one from the laundry day pack underneath the sink. And that's our little dungeon bathroom that I'm absolutely obsessed with. We're moving on to the foyer. We're just putting a console in with some decorations. And then I really wanted to use these like dry hanging herbs from the cottage living pack. I think they just fit so well. Those are so cute. Like instead of hanging keys by your door, what would a witch or a fairy hang? Herbs, probably some herbs. I forgot I needed toilet paper, so we had to go back and add that. And then we're on the second half. People, we're almost done. Oh, and I forgot that I needed to add some actual lighting. So I deleted those beep, beep, beep little saucer lights and added some chandeliers instead. And then in our dungeon bathroom, I just added single bulb lights because I thought that fit the dungeon vibe. And we finally get to move upstairs. So there's not a lot of room upstairs. So this square room, rectangle room, whatever, here is going to be our witches, fairies, whatever, bedroom. And then in my head, let me try to explain this the best I can. That little tower room, the octagon room over there in the corner, my vision for this room was like, it's a cauldron room, okay? And that's where our witch like does her little spells and like creates her little potions, right? This was my vision. Sorry, I'm walking to go get my glasses. I don't know if you can hear that. I just got up and started walking, but I am. And I tried to make it work, but there was nothing, at least not in the packs that I have. I'm sure maybe it exists in like werewolf or mermaids or something. There was nothing that really looked like a cauldron or would have worked. So I gave up on that and it ended up becoming a greenhouse because we've been going with kind of a plant vibe with the gnomes and the plants on the outside and the green and the brown. So I thought, you know what, maybe this witch she's a plant witch. And that's how it became that. As you probably saw there, if you were watching the screen, I was trying to create a little like bedside platform, but it kept clipping in the roof. And I am gonna be quite honest, I don't know how to fix that. So I had to give up on that dream, and we're just adding a bunch of trinkets to some shelves. This room is really tiny, like the bed takes up half the room, but I refuse to use like a single or a twin bed, whatever you want to call it, in The Sims. I don't know. I just don't like them. So it's always going to be a queen bed, a double, whatever this is. So it's taken up half the room, but that's just going to be how it is. I don't know what to tell you. We're adding in a little lamp. I'm actually kind of obsessed with this room. Like I said earlier, I was going to go with a gothic vibe, but like all roads lead back to pink for me. Like I just can't stop myself. And I probably like wouldn't have really thought about this combination of objects. They just kind of came together and I ended up really liking it. I put an orange tree in the corner because I love those little flowers on the orange tree. I think it's like one of the cutest. And then we're adding a bookshelf for our little witchy to read some books. And that is our tiny little room, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. Like sometimes decorating a smaller room is way better than decorating a bigger room. You can add more in and then it's more interesting. I really wanted to put this ballerina statue in. I just felt like it worked. So we're creating just a little corner here with some art and a statue, and I'm gonna add a plant. And I ended up really loving that too. I'm kind of obsessed with this build. Like I'm definitely gonna use it myself if I ever do. I'm gonna play with this with this build. I love it. We're adding another mirror, and then we're going back and adding a plant. Then we're gonna do some rugs, and then moving on to our final room, which is this little greenhouse corner in the octagonal tower. Perfect, size that down. Yeah, girlfriend. Okay. And of course, you know, this is a good excuse for me to use my hanging vine again. So can we count how many we use? I think I used one outside, right? One outside. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the bathroom, and then I think I used another one here, so that is 5. No, 6? Guys, I can't count to friggin' 6. I don't even know. Oh, I also realized that I could put one of these hanging pot things in because why not? Kind of, it works, and it has that like brassy color to it, so yay. I'm adding one of those in, and then oh, maybe not yet. Okay, sorry. I won't get there yet if I'm not building there yet. We gotta add a lot of plants in here. The best way to create a greenhouse is just place plants everywhere. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just wherever they fit. That's where they gotta go. Do I add a hanging? Oh, there it is. There it is. Our 5th or 6th one. I decided to make this one a little different. Okay, I did the pink leaves instead. That's called variety, baby. And then we need a rug. I originally put this daisy rug down, but then I thought it looked kind of too like modern for the vibe we had going on, so I ended up going with another laundry day one. They're just so cute. They remind me of like macrame. I love that. So, my friends, that concludes this witchy build. I'm saving it here. And da-da-da, cinematic shots of our witchy build. Yeah. Woohoo! I'm thoroughly obsessed with this one. Like I'm actually so happy with it. Here's a little walkthrough, our dungeony bathroom, our little kitchen, our tiny little living room. I'm obsessed with the living room. And then into the hallway, into our tiny little greenhouse, and back, finally, into the bedroom. One last room though. Oh, I didn't show the little nook. What the heck? Okay, well, here's the outside. If you want to download this, my gallery is IzzyMT as on the screen there. And this is called Witchy Cottage. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.